Yes guys, how's it going? Welcome back to a new video. Hope you guys have all, well, I was going to say enjoyed, probably haven't, what has been an insane day in the world of Newcastle United, despite the fact we've had the takeover, we've got the new owners in, the new billionaire owners. We don't do things easy, do we? Links today that Newcastle were offering Gordon to Liverpool as a possible transfer. Links between Isak and Chelsea, and it is all down to this PSR deadline and Newcastle having to let a player go. A billionaire football club having to rush to sell a player. And look, for me, we've made a mess of this. We have made a mess of this. I'm hoping we're going to get away with it by the skin of our teeth, and we will talk about, you know, what's been going on here. But the breaking news this evening is that Newcastle have agreed to sell a player. It's not Gordon, it's not Isak, it is Yankuba Minteh, as reported by Sky Sports, Telegraph, Keith Downey's on it, Craig Hope's on it, everyone's on it, that Newcastle have agreed a £33 million deal with Brighton. For weeks, in fairness, it was clear that that was the player Newcastle were looking to move on, and I understand the concern from players, fans, as to why, you know, we've kind of chosen Yankuba Minteh as the player to move on when we've got potentially other players in the squad we might have preferred to see go. But with this deadline creeping in, and he is a player who was wanted, you know, teams were after him. We already agreed a deal with Lyon, but he wasn't keen on going there. We also were in talks with Everton, and it was clear that Minteh was keen to go to Everton because he wanted to stay in the Premier League, because he wanted to play for a Premier League side. Well, it appears that Newcastle have now agreed a £33 million deal with Brighton. I think there's a little bit of a mix on reports of what's happening with personal terms of the player, but it's thought that he will be happy to agree to go there, as he stated he wanted to go to a Premier League team. So we will wait and hear what happens next on this one. But my word, as I say, we haven't made it easy. And, you know, in 2 weeks' time, if Minteh goes for 33 million and then we crack on with our summer window where we've moved from like June into July, where the funds become available, and then we go and start looking at and buying players, we'll probably move past all of this, and I'm hoping in a nice way. But it's fair to say that it has been pretty worrying today, seeing a lot of these reports that, as I say, Gordon reportedly was offered to Liverpool as an option as to whether they want him or not. And then on the flip side, you know, there was reports that maybe Isak would go, and then it kind of went away, and then it was back again. On one hand, and I think it was Luke Edwards put a tweet out where basically he said that he believes, or at least hopes, that a lot of that was like giant smoke screens for what's actually going on. Because if Newcastle didn't manage to get something over the line when they are fighting the reason they didn't get it over the line, they can go, well, we were in talks with Liverpool with Gordon, and we were in talks with Isak for Chelsea, and we were in talks with whoever, we just couldn't get it done just in time. So my hope is that Newcastle really, you know, as much as it was reported and talked about, like, I couldn't bring myself to actually believe that we would let one of those players go, which I think was why it was such a shock this morning to see Gordon's name on the front of the papers, that he was linked to leaving Newcastle United. In what world, you know, is that progression to be letting either of those two players go? And as I say, I'm hoping, you know, that those were dead end. They were dead end conversations that we were just putting out there just to try and mix it up a little bit, put a bit of a smoke screen on, and also, as I say, put our reasoning out there. Well, we were talking. It's like the Nottingham Forest excuse, you know, as to why it went on too long. We couldn't do this, we couldn't do that. Newcastle were almost trying to get their excuses ready for when we didn't get a deal done in time for the deadline. Well, we were trying to do this and we were trying to do that, and we were able to get something done eventually, but just not quite quick enough. And I think that's possible, you know, that's something there that is very plausible as to why Newcastle were having those conversations. But for them to be so like kind of public and out there was certainly a worrying sight today. But as I say, Newcastle have agreed a deal, and I think it's for a decent fee as well. As I mentioned, Yankuba Minteh, it's a shame we never got him to see him in that black and white shirt. And as I've mentioned already, it's a shame, you know, that really there was other players possibly in the squad that I would have preferred to maybe see us try and move on before we look to him as the answer. But it's one thing wanting to sell a player, it's another thing having a player that people are actually interested in. And it was clear that Yankuba Minteh held a hell of a lot of interest all across Europe. I would say that it is of slight disappointment that he is going to a Premier League side. I think I would have actually preferred that he just went off to France or Germany somewhere. You know, he was linked with Dortmund as well. You know, send him out over there, and then we don't have to watch. Not that I'm, you know, worried he's going to come and score loads of goals against Newcastle. Hopefully he doesn't. But generally speaking, you know, when you're letting a talent go, you'd prefer them to not be in your own league. But having said that, I would probably prefer he went to Brighton over Everton, and I would prefer he went to Brighton over, you know, Liverpool or whatever. And I certainly prefer him going to Brighton over Gordon going to Liverpool or Isak going to Chelsea. So, you know, when you're listing up your things of like, yes, it would have been nicer if it was Almiron who went, or maybe a Wilson or whatever, but it's also way better, this Minteh going, than what some of the links were today to some of our star players. And that's when you've got to come out and say it, you know, because yes, we are the billionaire football club, and yes, we shouldn't have to sell our players to achieve this. But Newcastle knew this. Now, this isn't a new rule. This isn't new news. Newcastle have allowed us to put ourselves in a position where we were basically having to, whether we were smoke screening it or not, publicly touting players of our own players. So it just wasn't for pleasant reading, and that comes down to the ownership, and that comes down to what's going on. We talk about money coming in and where's it coming from, and yes, I know it's PSR and we should be able to spend what we want, but where's the training ground sponsor? You know, where's the training kit sponsor? You know, we've talked about stadium name sponsors. Not that I really want to go down that route, but there's a lot of things there. And yes, we are bringing the Adidas out, and yes, we are getting the new, and things do take time. But could we have avoided this? Had we have been quicker with a lot of other stuff? And then look, don't get us wrong, because again, if this sale with Minteh goes through this evening, next week it's a different, you know, a different year, different finances. We'll go out and spend all of our money again, and then we'll worry about it for another year. But yeah, it definitely all kind of, from what appeared to be very cool, calm, and collected, suddenly in 24 hours wasn't anymore, with lots of quite worrying news about different players. So you guys can let me know your thoughts on that down below. As I say, it looks like Minteh's on his way. He's the one who's going to save the day. He's the one who's going to take the hit and move out of Newcastle. As I've mentioned, if he goes and becomes a superstar, we'll regret it. But where we are right now, well, that's it, isn't it? Yes, it's the rules that are broken, but it's also us for not planning ahead. And God hopes that we have buyback, sell-on clauses galore, you know, and that we can make sure that if we are going to sell him for 33, if he gets sold again for 100 million because he becomes a superstar, that we get more of that back, and then etc, etc, etc. Let me know your thoughts on Yankuba Minteh leaving Newcastle, what was possibly this weekend, down in the comments below, and what has been a pretty mad day. Thoughts on the rules that we're having to stick to, but also, I guess, should we have done more? Should we have been doing more to not put ourselves in this position? Enjoy your night, guys. Thanks for watching, as always. Drop a like, subscribe. England tomorrow, you know, well, Italy have just gone ahead and lost, haven't they? So, my God, you know, it'll be Switzerland in the next round, and then it could be a very good route to the final if Southgate fancies, you know, putting the ball in the net for a change. But thank you for watching, and I'll catch you later.